Well, I guess it's time to start a new anime. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna just go back to Demon Slayer. With season 3 on the way and it being announced to have a panel for Anime Japan this year, I thought I'd look back and see how it holds up today. And through my countless hours of studying, aka sitting on a couch staring at a screen, I've come to the conclusion, damn, this shit pretty good. ReZero not only holds up to this day, but instead carries the day on its back, especially season 2. It's kinda crazy looking at the two seasons. Season 1 with big action sequences lasting multiple episodes, a big bad that genuinely makes you question the definition of insanity, Rem, yeah. And on the other hand, you have season 2, a more slower paced and character driven story that emphasizes more on dialogue and mystery. But that begs the question, what makes season 2 better? Season 2 has less action, the royal selection is completely absent, and it's a lot slower than season 1. And comparing season 1 to an average of modern day shonen anime, it's pretty slow paced. And all I have to say to that is, shut up. Forgetting about the brilliant character development from every character for a second, one thing that ReZero, especially season 2, thrives in is anticipation and payoff. Payoffs in stories are like a crescendo reaching its peak, and when done well, can leave the viewer feeling rewarded and a sense of euphoria. However, payoffs only work when they feel earned, and the only way for them to feel earned is by building up to them through anticipation. A recent example of an earned payoff would have to be the Mahito and Itadori fight in Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Not only has this rivalry been built up since season 1 with Junpei's death, but has also been accentuated in the later half of season 2, with Mahito absolutely mutilating and exploding Itadori's friends in front of him. These beloved characters' deaths make the viewer want to see Mahito have an absolutely brutal death by the hands of Itadori. And even though Itadori doesn't end up being the one to kill Mahito, the payoff of Itadori in the snow looking down on Mahito just beating him up leaves the audience cheering. This wouldn't have hit as hard if we didn't see the events that led up to this moment. Now, back to ReZero. Whereas a story would have a singular moment with an amazing payoff, ReZero season 2 was like, let's just make that the whole show. Every single episode of the later half felt like a machine gun of payoffs being blasted into the viewer's head. Mysteries being uncovered, characters reaching a climax, Subaru declaring to Roswell that he'd save everyone in the sloop, Subaru beating Garfield, Amelia completing the trials and earning her title as best girl, Garfield defeating Elsa with a giant hippo, Subaru forming a contrast with Beatrice and annihilating the White Rabbits with Amelia's help, and of course, Subaru officially becoming Amelia's knight. These are but a small few of payoffs in the later half, and what can I say, every single one slaps. And this was only able to be possible due to the nature of the first half, which was a lot slower and made you feel the frustration and dire nature of this endless death loop. This could be seen as a double-edged sword, as a viewer might not appreciate the slower paced first half, but for me, I felt like it was a perfect choice. The show rewards you for paying attention. The more you pay attention to the little details being told, the more anticipation the viewer ends up building for himself, so it's understandable why someone would think that the first half is boring. In the end, it all just comes down to perspective. Subaru dies a lot. Well, what makes this season in particular interesting is the fact that Subaru is usually one of the last people to die. So we as the audience watch as Subaru desperately tries to save everyone whilst failing to save everyone. This leaves Subaru feeling more desperate with each death, and at the same time making us, the audience, feeling hopeless. With every death, with every failed attempt, the audience is left questioning if it's even possible to save everyone, and the show is kinda leaning towards that fact, with Roswell's endless preaching towards Subaru, with only caring about one person and dedicating a life to said person. But that's the thing, the show was building anticipation with every death. Every time Subaru died this season, there'd be a new problem that he'd have to deal with, and with these problems piling up with the trials, the attack on the mansion, the White Rabbits, not to mention Garfield being a problem, Amelia being able to do the trials, Beatrice being depressed, Roswell simping harder than 90% of the population. Bro's been through it. So imagine everyone's surprise when within the first minute, Subaru proudly proclaims to Roswell that he'd save everyone without dying once. Not only is Roswell left in shock, but also the audience. We watched 13 episodes of Mans dying and failing multiple times, so it's no surprise that we are a bit skeptical to this statement. And what can I say? Not only did this man deliver, he single-handedly bought all of Amazon and delivered each package on the market and refused to elaborate. That's the thing. Not just Subaru, but every character delivers. Each character gets their own time to shine, except Rem, and does a whole 180 on the story. While the first half left us feeling hopeless, the second half had us cheering at every win each character had gained. Season 1 left us being like, damn, Rem was pretty cool. Season 2 left us being like, damn, everyone is cool. And this is one thing this season does better than the last. It got us to care about the main cast. Season 1 didn't have much focus on the Amelia camp besides Subaru and Rem. And when the show focused on other characters, it was side characters from other factions in the royal selection. And it does such a good job at making us care about these characters. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely hated Amelia. I thought she had no character, I thought she was boring, I just didn't like her at all. Yes, I was one of those people that watched this scene and was like, fuck you. So, as a former #1 Amelia hater, trust me when I say this, I fucking love Amelia's character development. All the problems I had with her were brought up and dealt with in this arc. Finding out about her past, watching her persevere and completing those trials was a sight to see, and by the end of the series, I just had a huge smile on my face. Not many shows made me fall in love with a character that I hated. Even still, you had characters like Garfield, my boy Otto, and Ram, who had pivotal roles in this season. Like guys, be honest with me, when you saw this guy in season 1, did y'all even consider the possibility that he'd be one of the most likable characters in the show? Cause I know I didn't. And finally, we gotta talk about the one key element that propelled this season to new heights. A factor that is able to rival even the highest tier of anime girls. Something so out of this world that has been studied by scientists for generations. And that is the cross-dressing, self-harming man himself, Natsuki Subaru. Yes, canonically, Subaru is a cross-dresser. Subaru's journey throughout this series has been one of hardship and a lot of pain, and I mean a lot. However, carrying on the development from the first season with one of the most controversial scenes when it came out, and carrying that momentum into season 2, the best way to describe it is from going from easy mode to hard mode in a video game. The stakes were bumped up to a whole new level with his previous deaths looking like mere child play. From the end of season 1, it's clear that Subaru is on a journey to learn how to love himself. So how does he go about it? By repeatedly killing himself and thinking he has no worth to his friends other than sacrificing his life. So if Subaru in season 1 had to learn to stop being an arsehole, then season 2 Subaru has to learn that he has more value than his ability to return by death. And even though it took a while and he almost sold his soul to a witch, all it took was a deranged witch that looked like Amelia, the heck is that about, to tell him that killing himself all the time is bad. And best way order to punch the shit out of him for Subaru's 2 brain cells to finally start rubbing together and be like, maybe I shouldn't shoulder the pain of doing everything myself and try to get help from someone who's been trying to help me this whole season. So after realizing that dying sucks and that he should stop dying for no reason, what does this man do? He pulls up to the main villain of the season, says sack my powers, I don't need him, and calls him a clown and leaves. And with this revelation, Subaru has ascended new heights of an isekai protagonist and has become Chad Baru. From this point forward, Chad Baru catches dubs left, right, and center with him knowing 25 letters of the alphabet because the letter L simply does not exist in his vocabulary. Taming a cat, kissing his crush, acquiring a lolly. All these elements show what happens when an isekai protagonist has more than one brain cell. In all seriousness though, watching Subaru grow and evolve in season 2 was great. Thinking of where he started, an entitled brat who only cares about himself, to someone willing to make sure everyone he cares for is safe, including himself. His development is one of the main reasons why ReZero is as good as it is, and he only grows more as the story continues in the novels. So yeah, ReZero season 2 improves upon almost everything about season 1, by letting the first half slowly cook as you feel the raw emotions that are conveyed through Subaru's suffering, and the second half being a full 5-course meal that pays off on everything it was building to, while developing all the main cast into becoming more likable and complex, and letting my mans catch the ultimate dub at the end of the season. Like, look at him, bro deserves it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like my ReZero glazing, a like and subscribing would be much appreciated, and yeah, to many more ReZero glazing to come.